Hey y'all, Rowan here. You probably already know my name by now. So, a while ago, I did a video on the current situation of Wings of Fire and the current problems that has still not been fixed whatsoever, that I'm not fond of at all. Originally, that video was up, but now it is currently unlisted because I wasn't really happy with the results of the video since I made it during a time where I was at my lowest point and just going through a lot, so my feelings were never really put into words, so it was more lashed out than an actual genuine video. So I apologize for that, and I know it didn't perform really well, so if you didn't really see it, well, now you're seeing this one. So I'm going to be talking about the main current issue with Wings of Fire that I have gone through twice, actually, and two big YouTubers definitely have gone through this topic before, and still yet again, people do not see this as a problem and is still continuing to do so, even though it, as a matter of fact, it does. Now, I still want to say that I'm currently still on my hiatus break, and I don't see myself really coming back really anytime soon in full swing, but I will be still making videos from time to time. And before I start, yeah, I'm still not doing this in a script, and yeah, I'm doing this without any microphone, and I'm not even gonna bother to edit the audio out because I don't have time and I just want to get this over with. So here we go. Now, here's the thing that I don't like that people should understand and also should really take into consideration when it comes to doing this decision. When it comes to role plays, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. The whole point of a role play is to go with the flow of how it is. Sure, you have a main theme, of course, like washout, but even with the main theme, it'll still go in ways that won't always stick, but still somehow sticks. And role plays now are becoming more stricter within Wings of Fire. I know the whole game is about role play, it's basically a role play game, but that doesn't really mean that you have to make it into Hollywood restriction that only the best actors can do or whatever. It's not how that works. And it sucks because I've tried these before, in disguise at least. I was a sandwing. So take into consideration that I was a sandwing within one of these role plays, I guess. And oh boy, they were really bad. Now, not bad as in like the roleplay was bad. I mean, it was bad how people handled when it came to these roleplays. One of them that was really, really bad was that I was usually using strong vocabulary when it came to roleplays. Usually I'll use words from time to time that are like out of like the usual 1 through K or 1 through 5 level English. I used the word juxtaposition, and they took me out because they didn't know what juxtaposition means, and they thought it was a made-up word, which, here's a vocabulary lesson for you. Juxtaposition means mixing two opposites together to create something you like. So think about pizza and ice cream. Yeah, that's your definition of juxtaposition. And then they took me out. So even using strong vocabulary when the roleplay is always up for like top-notch writing and like awesome OCs, and yet they take you out for using like a very fancy word. I just find it funny at this point. I just find it funny. But it's not funny when it comes to people excluding others because of how they look or how they write. You have to also take into consideration that there's some people who doesn't have English as their first language, and they're trying to do it within a roleplay game that's only for English, so they try to speak it, but it's not perfect. I know a lot of people that I know that that didn't grow up in America, and their English, I wouldn't say is bad, but it's pretty decent, but it's still a little shaky. So you gotta take into consideration of that not everyone's foreign language is English, and not even their first. So even with that, it sucks because people like tear them down even for like the slightest mistake. They will look at you, they will look at what you type, and be like, oh, you spelled the wrong. Sorry, buddy, you can't join our awesome epic roleplay. It's stupid. Like, seriously. You guys need to know how stupid that sounds when it comes to saying that in front of probably little Timmy at 5 playing a little dragon game. And not everyone is also going to know the book series. I know a lot of kids and a lot of people would technically check out Roblox because it's literally a variety of games and will not know that Wings of Fire is technically a kid's book and will enter not even knowing what to do whatsoever. So literally, from the multiple videos that I've made about this, literally give them at least a nutshell or a little explanation of what Wings of Fire is about so they can at least get a better understanding of Wings of Fire as a whole. And the role plays, like I said, are not top notch, they're not perfect. It's literally smooth sailing. Now I don't blame people for just wanting like a role play without kids, but at least you can ask nicely instead of being all lashy about it, being all mean about it. Because you have to, again, consider that this is a game not only for teens and adults, but for mostly children. So, my thing is, just don't be rude because you don't know who's behind that screen. And also, not everyone will be able to create a cool, awesome OC, like a really cool faded Skywing or a really cool faded Nightwing. No one can really do that all the time, especially top notch. It takes a lot of practice and it also takes a lot of thought when it comes to making OC. When people join the game, the defaults are there for a reason to give them a start. And then eventually they'll go through the game, check out maybe some inspiration, or maybe search up something like an animal or a plant that they like, and then see the colors, and then maybe be like, maybe I want to make this as a rainwing color. And then, boom, they get a cool looking OC. Maybe they also do the names. And also, don't get mad at people for having the same name as you. I'm pretty sure there's like 10 million people who have the name Shadow on their name. I'm just saying, it's kind of like a Warrior Cat situation where, like, I'm pretty sure a majority of people will have, like, the name Claw then as a suffix, prefix? I don't know what that is. I don't remember. It's suffix or prefix, whichever one. Correct me if you want. But it's, again, for people, and also it takes a long time for bios to be produced. I know a lot of people will be like, bio eaten by Darkstalker, or bio eaten by this and that. It's because people don't really know what to put in their bio. So, and plus, think about bios as like making a character sheet or like building a story. Everyone within like the writing community, at least, or at least what I've learned when it comes to writing, yes, I'm somewhat of a writer, so forgive me for spilling all this English stuff at your face. Maybe this will help you out a bit in English, I don't know. So what I'm saying is, think about bios, building your character, basically designing your character, for God's sake, as something of developing like a story. It takes a wee bit long when it comes to developing a character. Shadowlyn went through a lot of evolution to get where she is at right now. This is what she looked like before, and this is what she looks like now. This is a whole massive difference when it comes to Shadowlyn, not even to mention the story. So it took a while for me to actually like build a story for Shadowlyn to have their design and bio, and yet still not as cool as that one Rainwing. I'm just saying. So also take into consideration for those who do host experienced role plays and all that, just take into consideration that it takes a long time for people to literally build a character, otherwise as like give them bios or backstories and actually design a character. And finally, I also want to let you know that you can't just exclude kids, because taking into account, probably reflect back on when you started a game. You were only a beginner, probably like that one squeaker that just spams all the emotes, everything, all the actions, and then you're just over here with a group of people who has already known the game for so long, looking at you like, what is this person doing? Are they glitching out or something like that? That's literally how beginner players are doing. They're just getting to know the game. Sure, sometimes it can be annoying, but they're just learning. Now, I know what I'm saying right now won't really make sense, but literally take into consideration that little Timmy, the little Timmy that you're probably seeing right now that's spamming on the emotes, was you one time. When you played Wings of Fire, that was you when you first played it, spamming emotes, getting to know everything. Probably had a default or probably like a simple color palette dragon. That was you. And then look at you now, all experienced. And now you're over here bullying little Timmy. Not saying that goes for everyone, but just think about it really quick. And take a deep, deep, deep thought to think for a moment. You can't exclude new players because they're just trying to get to know the game. That's my take. Now, I'm going to go to the segment, apologies, where I'm going to propose some things. I am not an official team member, just to give a disclaimer. I'm not an official team member of Talons of Power or any sort of like authority like an admin or a dev or anything like that. But I'm just giving a proposal to help improve it better, because even though I'm here talking to you guys right now, I'm still on my hiatus, and I hate to say this, but I'm not even proud of coming back. That's my thing. I'm not quitting, at least for like another year because of college, but we'll get into that like way later. But just, I'm not proud of Wings of Fire right now. I'm not proud of how we are right now. I know we've already had a situation with a fellow YouTube member, which I will not be naming, which is another topic that I want to discuss as well before I get into the proposals of what I wish to add for Wings of Fire to at least be better than how it is right now. People view stuff differently. People view other things differently. They view perspective, they go through different things. Everyone's different. So it's just taken into consideration with some people, not everyone is going to fit ideologies. Not everyone's Christian, not everyone's LGBT, not everyone is going to be all sunshine and rainbows. That's how it is. And it kind of sucks when it comes to people who get turned down by just voicing something. Now, I will say though, they didn't harm anyone just by saying it. I'm sure some people were offended, yes. I will not agree nor disagree with what they said and all that, but I will disagree that it shouldn't have been taken so harshly than it should have. It really was not so necessary, but still it would have gone way better than it could have. So just note, not everyone is going to follow what you think. Not everyone's gonna be like, oh wow, maybe all of a sudden, yes, I do like mangoes instead of oranges. Maybe I should consider that. It's not like that. So be kind to people, seriously. I know it's easier said than done, but take into consideration and thought about that. Alright, now we're going to go through the proposals and all that. Now, my number one proposal that I'm actually developing as we speak is my guide. Now, this guide will allow beginners and other new players that probably maybe little Timmy wants to play Wings of Fire but doesn't know how to play the game and doesn't want to get thrashed down by some people. So, I am making this guide. Again, I am not of any power within Wings of Fire or the Talons of Power server or anything. This will be a guide to help out with new people, just to like show and go through like step-by-step basics and maybe some tips and tricks on how to, I don't know, customize your OC or give a good bio, just so you can get the swing of things without getting thrashed. Now, this will not improve on people who are not like experienced enough. I hate using that term, trust me, but it's the only way for people to really understand that some people will still be doing spamming emotes and all that, but this will just be a step to help, and it will be really great help for you to share it around so other people can learn, other people can try, and other people won't be like thrashed around. My next proposal is, this is something that I've seen Warrior Cats do, and this is actually an idea that I wish I had sooner, but actually never got to, is private servers. Now, some games do allow private servers, so for people who want to do experience roleplays, but it has to be really condensed into different areas so that no new players could come and ruin the fun, or whatever you want to call it, you can literally make a private server and invite people, whether via code or just typing down a server, which I think via code is really works well. And this would also help for filming too as well, because I know a lot of people who are YouTubers, I know one of them at least, does a series, and it would be a really cool thing if there was like an area all to themselves without having to wait like at 5 in the morning or like 12 at night for a server that's barely filled with people to film. So a private server would be a great consideration, given that there will be no one to bug if it was in via code, and it can also allow people to do role plays more peacefully. Not to say it's going to be separating the game, no, but it would be a consideration to at least add some private servers here and there, just to let people have their own role plays, own films, and whatever. So that's really all I could say. If you want to share this video around, I highly recommend it, please. And if there are any devs or admins, anyone in the Wings of Fire community that's strongly associated with the server and the game, I beg of you, please fix this issue. I know you can't fix people's minds, but you can definitely fix the rules of how roleplays are. And just be kind to everyone. Just be kind, please. Not everyone will agree. I know a lot of people will sometimes be mean, but be kind to everyone, okay? Because the only way this is going to get better is if you are nice to people. Because it's hard to believe for some people who are mean. I'm not saying anyone, but yeah, if you are mean, this is a nice little message for you. If you're kind to someone, eventually they'll give back. Because I remember when someone taught me a really nice trick within the Wings of Fire, like a glitch, a rain wing glitch. They helped me become a glitch master, and then when they needed help learning how to do the wall glitch, or the glitch out of map glitch, I don't know what you guys call it, I helped them out, and we became really good friends since that day. So yeah, if you're kind to someone, they'll give back to you. That's all I really have for today. I will be back on my hiatus break, continuing to improve on my mental health and who is texting me right now. I will be back on my hiatus break, not for a long while. I don't have a new computer. You could probably hear its fan begging me to stop playing this game right now. But yeah, I will be gone. The only time I'll post is when the Wings of Fire guide comes out. So if you guys want to help as well, I will soon reopen my Discord. Actually, I did open my Discord again, because usually I put my links in videos down in the description, which is hard to see, but yeah, there will be a link down in my Discord below. I'm trying to revive it, so if it's dead, I'm sorry. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.